The great house at Collinwood holds a new and dangerous secret. Only 2 people in the house know of the strange creature who has been given refuge in the long, closed-off West Wing. But another man is determined to find out where the creature is and to use him for his own evil purposes.
Mr. Blair.
Professor Stokes. You didn't expect me to open the door, did you? I can tell by your expression.
Can you now? I must be more careful. There are times when even a momentary loss of self-control can be dangerous.
Yes, very dangerous. Do come in.
Thank you.
I assume it's Carolyn you wish to see.
A correct assumption.
Is she studying with you?
Oh, you're curious about my books.
I wouldn't say curious.
What would you say, Mr. Blair?
Nothing. I was just making idle conversation.
Somehow, Mr. Blair, you don't strike me as the sort of man who makes idle conversation.
Oh, how do I strike you, Professor?
As a man who knows what he wants and who says what he means.
You are quite observant.
I've often been told so. Now, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Blair.
Oh, Professor, before you go upstairs, I wonder what you could tell me about a man named Adam.
As a matter of fact, I once knew a man called Adam. Curiously enough, he was married to a woman named Eve. They were both missionaries. They were very pleasant people, but they both lacked a sense of humor.
Not like you, Professor.
A humorless man, Mr. Blair, is an incomplete man.
Professor Stokes, when did you arrive?
A few moments ago, Mr. Blair was kind enough to let me in.
Well, Carolyn, now that you're here, I can take my daily stroll in the woods, if you will excuse me.
Did you tell that man anything about Adam?
No. Why?
He was asking questions about him just now.
Why would he do that?
I don't know, but he must not find out that Adam is in this house. Is that clear?
Yes. But I'm not so sure that Adam is going to be staying in this house very much longer.
What do you mean?
I don't think it was very wise to have brought him here in the first place.
Why? What has he done?
Yesterday he tried to kill someone.
Who?
Mrs. Johnson's son, Harry.
You say he tried. Who stopped him?
I did. I walked into the room just as Adam was raising a knife.
That means this Harry Johnson knows where Adam is.
Yes, but I'm
Carolyn,
sure
you were the only one who was supposed to know. How did this boy get into the room?
He told me he slipped the latch.
This is dreadful. We must do something immediately. We can't run the risk of this young man going to the police.
Harry won't go to the police.
How can you say that? What's to stop him?
He happens to have a police record. Getting involved with the police is the last thing Harry wants. But I happen to have another reason for thinking that Adam is going to be unmanageable.
Well, what is it? Tell me.
Professor, he's becoming extremely attached to me. In his own way, I'm afraid he's beginning to fall in love with me.
You must be mistaken.
No, I'm not. Yesterday, he found a book with a picture in it of 2 people kissing. And he tried to kiss me.
I see.
Well, what do you suggest we do about it?
You stay here. I'll go up and talk to him.
Professor, wouldn't it be possible for you to take Adam back to your house?
No, that's out of the question. He wouldn't be safe there. I'll go up and talk to him and give him these books. If I can persuade him to concentrate on his studying, I'm sure you'll have no further trouble with him.
Professor, before you leave, I'd like you to answer a question that's been bothering me.
What is it?
What is your interest in Adam?
My interest?
Yes, you have nothing in common with him. You knew the police were looking for him. Why did you give him shelter in your house?
I suppose it was for the same reason that you gave him shelter in yours. I felt sorry for him.
Carolyn.
Adam, it's I, Stokes. Please open the door. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Professor.
I must apologize for not being able to get here before today, but my work has piled up on me. How have you been?
I have no one to talk to. I like your house better.
Yes, I can sympathize with your feelings. Your present surroundings are certainly anything but cheerful. But you'll have to put up with them for the time being, at least. Here. Perhaps these will help to relieve your loneliness.
Books. For me.
Yes, they're all for you.
Good.
There's also a writing pad and plenty of sharp pencils.
I will study then.
Yes, that's what you must do.
Will you help me?
I'm afraid I won't be able to do that now. I'll come to see you as often as possible.
Oh. Then Carolyn will help me.
Yes. Well, I want to talk to you about that before I leave. You like Carolyn, don't you?
Yes, I like her very much.
Adam, you must be careful not to like her too much.
Why?
Oh, dear me. If only I'd had the foresight to marry and raise a family, I'd be equipped to answer that most annoying of all children's questions. Why, indeed?
You are unhappy, Professor?
No, only inadequate to the demands of the present situation. But I'll do the best I can. Adam, Carolyn's told me about some of the problems you've been having lately. If anyone else discovers you, as Mrs. Johnson's son did yesterday, you mustn't panic or be frightened. It's very important that you understand that.
Very important.
Yes, if it happens again, you must simply tell Carolyn.
I
That
will
clear?
tell her.
She is your friend and she knows what's best for you.
Yes.
So you must obey her wishes.
Yes, I will.
Now, the most important thing for you is your studying. Everyone has warm feelings toward certain other people, and that's very good, but for you, learning must come first. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
The sooner you are educated, the sooner you can leave this room and go out among other people.
I will like that.
Then we're agreed. First and foremost, you will concentrate on your reading and writing.
Reading and writing. Yes.
Professor, may I speak with you for a moment?
Excuse me, Adam, I must go now. I'll be back to see you as soon as I can. Is something wrong?
Not yet. But Julia is downstairs. She saw your car outside and wondered where you were.
What did you tell her?
That you're in my mother's private library looking at a first edition of the Federalist.
Your mother has a first edition of the Federalist?
I haven't the slightest idea. It was just the first 18th century title that came into my mind. Professor, will you please go downstairs?
Yes, we must avoid arousing Dr. Huffman's suspicions.
Did you and the professor have an interesting talk, Adam?
Yes.
And you understand everything he said to you?
Yes, I have my books now, and I will study. It's very important.
Good. Good. That makes me very happy.
I am happy too.
Well, you can't very well do much studying on an empty stomach. I'll be back very soon with some food for you.
Carolyn.
Professor, we need your help.
We?
Barnabas and I, we believe that you know where Adam is, and it's imperative that you tell us.
And may I ask why it's imperative that you know where Adam is?
I'm afraid I can't tell you that now.
We seem to have been developing a rather unfortunate pattern. You and Barnabas and I. You two seem to feel no hesitation in calling upon me for help whenever the whim strikes you. I am hardly a religious man, but occasionally I do believe that it is better to give than to receive. I think it's high time you and Barnabas adopted that principle.
Professor, we have been as open and honest with you as we can be.
Rubbish, Julia. You wouldn't even answer the few simple questions I asked you the other evening. Questions which were eminently fair and justified under the circumstances.
Professor, if I answer your questions now, will you tell me where Adam is?
I haven't said that I know where he is. Let's say, if you cooperate with me, I may consider helping you.
All right. Now tell me, what do you want to know?
First of all, about the riddle that is heard in each of the dreams. I've managed to interpret all but the last line, and one door leads to the point of return. Obviously, the door is intended for the last person to have the dream, meaning Barnabas.
Yes.
And did he go through it in the dream?
Yes.
Where did it take him?
Into the old house.
To the point of return. Return to what, Julia?
I don't know.
Surely Barnabas told you what he found when he went through the door into the old house?
Nothing happened to him. He woke up from the dream unharmed. He began to believe that he had broken the spell, that it was over.
And what happened then?
Well, I left the room for a few minutes, and when I returned, he was gone. I found him on the ground outside the house. I examined him, and
you concluded he was dead. What killed him?
I assumed that he died from heart failure, based on the fear that he must have experienced during the dream.
I'm afraid you'll have to do a little better than that.
Well, I can't tell you anything I don't know.
You arranged for him to be buried secretly, without consulting any of the family, without even notifying the authorities, as the law requires you to do. Why?
Well, I simply followed his instructions that he had given me just before he had the dream.
I believe you were following instructions, but I also believe you're leaving out one very important detail. Yes, Barnabas believed that the dream would result in his death. But somehow or other, he feared that his death would be gruesome or somehow shameful. That's why he arranged to be secretly buried in an unmarked grave.
That is pure conjecture, Professor.
What is the strange connection between Barnabas and Adam?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Why did Adam begin to suffocate for no apparent reason after Barnabas was buried?
I told you that the other night.
I know you did, but I don't believe it was merely an amazing coincidence, as you put it. And you don't believe it either.
I'm sorry, but I know of no other explanation.
And I regret to say that I will not be able to help you.
But, Professor, you said if I answered your questions, you would help me.
I hardly consider the answers you've given me adequate. Now, if you will excuse me.
Please, Professor, listen to me.
Let me leave you with one final question, which may give you some food for thought. Could the hostility between Adam and Barnabas have anything to do with the fact that Adam is an artificially created human being, and that Barnabas is somehow responsible for his creation and for all his subsequent misfortunes? You see, Julia, I already know a great deal more than you think I do.
I summon spirits unknown to me or to each other, but who have a common cause. I command each of you to appear before me, for I know the truth, and I have the power to restore what each of you has lost. Nameless, miserable spirits lying in violated graves, hear me. Listen to my command. Come to me and help me if I am to help you. Maimed and suffering spirits, robbed after death in the name of false creation, I speak as your benefactor. And I command you, make your presence known to me.
Adam, I brought you dinner. Good evening. Oh, you have been studying hard. Adam? Adam, what's wrong?
I don't know.
Do you feel sick?
No.
Then what is it?
I don't know! Sorry.
Perhaps you'd feel better after you ate.
Yes. I am hungry.
I'll come back later for the tray.
Stay. Talk to me. I'd like to talk to you.
Yes. All right.
If you are to know any rest in death, only I can find it for you. In the artificial life that is the sum of all of you. Appear to me and help me.
Adam, what is it? Tell me what's wrong.
My head.
Does it hurt?
No. It feels strange.
I don't think you should have studied so long without taking a break. Does it feel all right now?
I have summoned you, and you have responded to my call. 2. Yes, 2 will be sufficient for my needs.
Go on, finish your food. Adam, what's the matter?
My arm
What about it?
feels strange too.
Adam, I wouldn't know what to do if you got sick. We can't call a doctor for you. It would be too dangerous.
Oh, no, I'm I'm not sick.
Well, you're certainly behaving strangely. There must be some reason for it.
Finish my food now.
I must find Dr. Lang's creation, the man called Adam. Only after I've found him can I avenge your suffering. I command you to lead me to him. Surely you must know where he is. Each of you is a part of him. If you cannot lead me, then point the way to me. Where is he? Show me. Colin. He is hiding at Collinwood. What part of the house is he in? That's all right. The house itself is all I need to know.